The harrowing storylines that are shocking the nation. Bethany Platt and Coronation Streets being groomed by an older man, and the detectives in ITV drama Broadchurch are trying to solve the case of a woman who was sexually assaulted. Hard to watch as a viewer, but a disturbing reality for many victims across the UK, like Victoria Rainford. She was sexually assaulted and groomed as a child.
I met someone who was very complimentary. That was something that was enticing, I suppose. It was grooming, but it wasn't it wasn't like, oh, come to this party, meet all my friends kind of thing. It was like, no one's going to want you after I do this. So he would pick me up before school. It would either happen at my parents' house or in his car on the side of the road, and then he would pick me up after school and the same would happen again then. He always told me never to tell anybody, that it would be worse if I told people.
Victoria finally had the courage to go to the police and the abuse stopped. Now, aged 24, Victoria is married and says that although she has made some happy memories in the years since the attacks, she's mentally scarred from the trauma and constantly feels a deep sadness. So much so, she's tried to take her own life.
I took an overdose 3 weeks ago. The reason that I took the overdose was to get rid of the audio flashbacks. Sometimes I can hear his voice, sometimes I can hear myself crying. I feel as though the abuse is still happening now. There
are fewer and fewer options left. She's tried CBT, she's tried counselling, crisis team. There's not much left on the table. It would absolutely ruin my life if she was successful with an overdose.
We have sent the Speakmans to try and help Victoria overcome her traumatic past and relieve the feelings of anxiety caused by the daily flashbacks.
The reason why having flashbacks, it's not to punish you, it's your brain saying, look, listen to this. Why did you let this happen? Why did you let this happen? Because it wants you to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I asked you to think about having one of the flashbacks, could you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, how did that make you feel?
Scared.
Find another one for me. How did that make you feel?
Scared, but a bit less.
Because you're now in charge of whether you want to listen to them or not, you can notice that actually you can change the sound of them. And if you want, you can make that voice really squeaky. Just try it.
Well, like Mickey Mouse or something?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse will do. That felt different, didn't it? Yeah. You see, because when you know that you're in charge, you can do all sorts of things like that. What about Donald Duck? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's not scary at all.
It's our opinion, Victoria, that you still believe that the attacker's going to come and get you. Is that right?
Yeah.
You see, the only power that he had over you was the secret. Because if you tell anyone, what was going to happen?
It said it would get worse.
But when you stopped it and you told people, did it get worse?
No.
So from that very moment, and the police knew and other people knew, his power diminished. When you look at it now, who put it right?
I did.
Who solved the problem?
I did.
Who fixed it?
I did.
Absolutely.
Right, we've got the Speakmans now, we've got Victoria here now, and we learned a lot. We didn't learn everything there, and we hear about post-traumatic stress disorder, and I think a lot of people have a sense of hopelessness about that. Tell me about that in relation to Victoria and in general. I
think there's a false belief that post-traumatic stress disorder, and in Victoria's case, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, can't be cured, and that's not true. basically.
You can get better. I mean, obviously, with Victoria, because she believed she just couldn't get better, she'd lost all hope. Sadly, 3 weeks before we met, she'd have tried to take her own life because it was unbearable, because she was having audio flashbacks, and literally, you were saying between 4 and 5 an hour, weren't you?
An hour, Victoria.
Yeah.
And you can't get away from that, can you? Doesn't matter what you do.
No. And it was very difficult to distinguish if it was in my head or if there was actual threat and danger at that point.
Victoria, was it very difficult to make the decision to go and see Nick and Eva?
Well, my mother-in-law made that decision. She approached Nick and Eva for me. I'm not sure if I would have done it myself. For me, it just felt like there wasn't really a way out at all at that point.
And did you find it hard talking to anybody, really, about it?
Yeah, I used to have a short sentence that I would use that was just so that I could tell someone, but not in any detail. And
so, Nick and Eva, how much can you tell us, obviously without giving away any confidentiality for Victoria, how much can you tell us about what treatment and what you've done? And then I'm going to ask Victoria how different life is after seeing you.
Well, when we met Victoria, what was really apparent was that she still felt that she was in threat and that she was in danger. She felt very vulnerable. She felt that she was still possibly a threat. And what we helped Victoria to understand and realise was that in actual fact, she was now in control. And I think the biggest thing or the biggest revelation for Victoria was to realise that the only power the person had over her was a secret. And the secret was now out.
And as soon as you speak out and the secret's broken, then the power shifts.
Which is why it's great that she's spoken out.
So how do you feel? Where are you at?
miles better. The audio flashbacks have stopped completely.
What do you mean by audio flashbacks?
So it was memories from the trauma, but it was just audio, so it was just...
You could hear those conversations.
So not pictures, not like a dream?
No, it was just...
the words... And,
things that he'd said, noises from the trauma as well. Yeah.
And what would your message be? Not everybody can have access to Nick and Eva. What would your message be to other young people who've experienced or gone through what you have gone through?
I think it's really important to just speak to someone, anybody, an adult that you trust, and just ask for help.